The night he returned, the sea forgot its silence. The storm broke just as Alara saw him, her husband's best friend, the man she hadn't seen in 5 years, walking through the rain like a memory that refused to stay buried. Why did her pulse echo his footsteps? Why did his name taste like déjà vu? And why, when lightning split the sky, did she see his eyes shimmer silver? The same color from her dreams from another life. What if the man she thought she knew wasn't human at all? The storm finally quieted, but Alara's mind didn't. The house hummed with silence, heavy and strange. Kale sat by the hearth across from her, his damp hair catching the light, eyes reflecting the flames like they remembered something she couldn't. He spoke little, but every pause between his words felt like a secret waiting to break. Why did his presence feel so familiar, like a melody she used to know? And why did she feel safer and more afraid than she ever had before? When Rowan entered, the warmth in the room shifted. His smile was easy, but his eyes measured everything. The distance between his wife and his best friend, most of all. He asked questions too casually, his voice hiding the sharpness underneath. Alara answered softly, feeling Kale's silence beside her like a steady heartbeat. And though no one spoke of it aloud, something had already begun. Something Rowan could feel, even before the first lie was told. That night, Alara couldn't sleep. The rain had stopped, but the waves whispered against the cliffs like a heartbeat from another world. She wandered to the window again, drawn to the sea. Then she saw him, Kale, standing outside beneath the full moon, looking out toward the horizon. Barefoot, silent, like he belonged to the night itself. Something in her chest ached with recognition, as if her soul had found something it wasn't meant to remember. In the morning, sunlight filtered through the mist, but the silence between them remained. At breakfast, Alara caught Kale's eyes across the table. Just once, and the world tilted. For a second, everything fell away. The sound of the sea, the creak of the floorboards, even Rowan's cheerful voice. Only that unspoken pull remained. She didn't know why her heart stuttered when he looked at her. Only that something inside her had already chosen him long before her mind ever could. Sometimes the heart remembers what the mind refuses to see. Alara woke to a strange whisper in the morning, like a voice carried across waves and centuries. Kale's face appeared in her dreams again, but not as himself. Younger, regal, almost unreal. She shook it off, telling herself it was nothing. But why did her hands still feel his touch? Why did the air around him make her chest ache, as though something ancient had been waiting for her all along? When Kale arrived at the manor, he seemed different. There was a tension in his steps, a hesitancy he usually never showed. Alara watched him, heart caught between fear and longing. He said nothing of the dreams, yet every glance carried a question she didn't dare ask. What if the man she had been married to wasn't the only one who knew her soul? Later, by the cliffs, the sea began to hum a strange tune, one that only Alara could hear. She stepped closer to the water, and for a moment, Kale's hand brushed hers. It wasn't accidental. Their fingers touched, and the world shifted. The horizon blurred. Her memories and his flashed together like lightning. She stumbled back, heart pounding. Was it possible to remember a life she never lived? Or was the pull too strong to deny? Rowan's suspicion grew. He noticed the way Alara's eyes lingered, the small pauses in her speech when Kale was near. That night he confronted her, words sharp but cautious. She denied everything, though inside, her soul ached for a truth she couldn't yet name. How could she explain that Kale was more than a friend, more than a man? That he was a memory, a warning, and a promise all in one? That evening, Alara couldn't resist the pull of the cliffs. The moon hung low, silver on the waves, calling her like a memory she couldn't name. Kale was already there, as if waiting for her. She didn't ask questions. He didn't speak. Their fingers brushed again, lingering this time, and for a moment, the world fell away. And then the waves whispered her name, the same name she had heard in dreams, centuries before, in a life she might have forgotten. Ilara found an old journal hidden behind the manor's library shelves, pages yellowed, ink faded, yet alive with words that seemed to speak directly to her. The handwriting was Kale's, though centuries old. "She will remember me," it read, "and I will protect her, even if the world collapses around her." Her hands trembled. Could a man really live this long? Could a love last beyond lifetimes, waiting for the moment when fate would reunite them? That night, Kale appeared at her window again. No words passed, just a look heavy with history. Then the ground beneath them shifted, faintly glowing, and Ilara glimpsed another world beneath the cliffs. A place of silver waters and dark fire, where shadows danced and whispered secrets of lives long past. Her breath caught. This was the realm of the depth, the place he had warned her of, the one she had seen in dreams, and somehow it belonged to both of them. Rowan grew colder with every day. He noticed the way Kale's eyes lingered on Ilara, the subtle movements and pauses that spoke volumes she could barely understand herself. One evening, he confronted Kale in the library. "What is she to you?" he asked, voice low, dangerous. Kale's reply was a whisper, almost inaudible. "Everything. And nothing." Rowan's jaw clenched, but he couldn't look away. Deep down, he knew Kale's secret was bigger than either of them could imagine. Ilara couldn't resist the call of the depth any longer. She followed Kale beneath the cliffs, stepping into a hidden cavern where water shimmered with unnatural light. His hand touched hers, and the world shifted. Memories not her own, centuries of love, betrayal, and promises surged through her. She gasped. "Who are you really?" she whispered. Kale's silver eyes softened, and he answered, "The one who should never have left you, in any life." The revelation shattered the fragile peace she had known. Kale's truth unfolded like a storm. Centuries ago, they had been bound by a curse, lovers torn apart by betrayal. Every lifetime they found each other only to be separated again. "Rowan. He only knows part of it," Kale said. "The rest must remain hidden, or it will destroy us all." Ilara felt the weight of history pressing down, and yet her heart thudded in impossible anticipation. Could love survive this kind of knowledge? Some truths refused to stay buried beneath the waves. Ilara awoke to whispers curling through her bedroom, soft and seductive, like the sea itself was speaking her name. Shadows twisted across the walls, forming faces she had never seen, yet felt she knew. Kale's presence filled the room without him being there, silver eyes blazing in her mind. How could one man be both memory and mystery? And why did the pull of the depth feel like home and danger at once? Kale led her back to the cliffs, past the hidden cavern. There, the water pulsed with unnatural light calling them. "This is where our past lives bleed into the present," he said, voice low. The silver waves revealed fleeting images of them together, lovers, warriors, and betrayed souls. Her chest ached. If the curse had followed them through centuries, could they finally break it? Or were they doomed to repeat it forever? The depth called more insistently than ever. Ilara's vision blurred, revealing a throne of water and flame, where a younger Kale knelt before her, crown of silver in his hair, eyes desperate. The prophecy whispered in her mind. "The cursed lovers will choose love or ruin, and the world will bend to their decision," she gasped. How could she choose between the man she loved and the life she had always known? Rowan grew more possessive, his suspicions turning into obsession. He followed Ilara to the cliffs, confronting Kale in the moonlight. "You're hiding something from her." Rowan spat, eyes sharp. Kale didn't flinch. "I am the secret," he said simply. The words hung between them like a blade. Rowan's jaw tightened, heart racing, as he realized that whatever Kale was, it was far beyond his control and far beyond the ordinary world. Alone at last, Kale pulled Alara close, their foreheads touching. "I've waited centuries to find you," he whispered, voice trembling. "Every betrayal, every loss, led me here." She felt the pull of the depth stronger than ever, her heart aching with the weight of a love she didn't fully understand. Could they survive the curse? Could they survive Rowan? And how do you choose between a soul that has waited lifetimes for you and the world you promised to protect? The storm returned, fiercer than ever. Alara clutched the balcony railing as lightning split the sky. She could feel the depth calling stronger than ever, tugging at her very soul. Kale appeared beside her without a sound, eyes silver and piercing. "It's starting," he said softly. "The curse. It's awake." Her chest tightened. Could love survive when destiny itself turned against them? Rowan confronted them at the cliffs. "Enough hiding," he shouted, voice trembling with fury. But Kale didn't flinch. The ground trembled, waves below glowing with unnatural silver-blue light. Rowan's anger collided with magic older than time, and he realized too late that he was powerless. Alara's heart raced. Could the man she married survive forces beyond mortal understanding? Alara felt herself pulled toward Kale, as if by invisible chains. Memories of centuries flooded her mind. Laughter, kisses, promises broken and repeated. "You don't understand," she cried to Rowan. "This isn't just a man. He's part of me." Rowan's face fell, fear and jealousy mingling. The storm above mirrored the storm inside her, and for the first time, she feared she might lose control of everything she held dear. Suddenly, the depth surged, water and silver fire spilling from the hidden cavern beneath the cliffs. Alara screamed as visions of her past lives and Kale's intertwined flashed before her eyes. She felt centuries of love, betrayal, and longing crushing her heart. Kale whispered, "We either face it together, or it destroys everything." Rowan's shouts were lost to the roar of the magical tempest, powerless against the ancient force they had awakened. Alara's heart was torn, every fiber of her being pulled toward Kale, yet Rowan's presence reminded her of the life she had promised. "How do I choose?" she whispered, voice breaking. Kale held her hands, silver eyes shimmering like molten light. "Love isn't always easy," he said. "Sometimes it's the hardest choice that defines us." The depth glowed beneath them, reflecting the impossible decision that would change all their fates forever. Alara stood at the cliff's edge, wind tearing through her hair, heart pounding like a drum of fate. The depth shimmered beneath her, alive with silver fire and spectral echoes of their past lives. Kale reached for her hand, his silver eyes soft yet urgent. "This is it," he whispered. "We can break the curse. If you choose me." Her chest ached. Torn between centuries of love and the life she had promised Rowan, could she truly defy destiny and love at the same time? Rowan's voice broke through the roar of wind and waves. "Alara, don't do this!" he shouted, desperation in every syllable. But she couldn't hear him clearly anymore. The pull of the depth drowned out reason. Every memory of centuries past, every heartbeat tied to Kale, screamed at her. She realized then that love wasn't about safety or promises. It was about truth, and the truth had always been with Kale. Alara let go. She stepped toward Kale, her hands finding his, and for a heartbeat, the world held its breath. Silver fire danced across the waves below, memories of lifetimes converging into this singular moment. Rowan's cry echoed behind her, but she could not turn back. Love was waiting, patient and eternal. And she finally understood that some bonds were stronger than fear, stronger than duty, stronger than life itself. The depth surged higher, waves and silver fire spiraling like a living entity. Elara felt it pull them both, a force older than time. Together, Kale whispered, voice steady despite the chaos. And in that instant she chose not just him, but every lifetime they had shared, every sacrifice, every whispered vow across centuries. The curse began to bend, responding to the courage of their hearts. Could love truly conquer fate? In that moment it felt possible, and then silence. The storm passed, the waves stilled, and the depth shimmered like calm silver glass. Elara breathed, heart finally at peace, though Rowan's absence reminded her of the price. Kale held her close, eyes soft and human again, no longer silver with ancient burden. We survived, he murmured. But Elara knew survival wasn't just living. It was choosing love against impossible odds, and finally stepping into a destiny they had always shared. The first light of dawn painted the cliffs gold, but Elara could still feel the echo of the depth beneath her feet. The curse had bent, but remnants of centuries-old magic lingered, like a shadow that refused to vanish. Kale held her hand, and together they could feel the pulse of every life they had shared. Every betrayal survived, every love reclaimed. Was this freedom, or just another beginning? Rowan's absence weighed heavily, a reminder that love and sacrifice often walked hand in hand. Elara could feel it. A life saved, a life lost, a destiny rewritten. Kale's hand tightened around hers, and she knew. Some bonds were eternal, not because they were easy, but because they had survived the impossible. Could the world forgive them? Could she forgive herself? Perhaps the only answer that mattered was the one she had already chosen. In the quiet of the morning, the depth shimmered faintly, a mirror of their souls intertwined. Ghostly silhouettes of their past lives floated in the silver-blue water, finally at peace. Elara could feel the centuries of waiting, the endless cycles of longing and loss dissolve into something new. She turned to Kale, breathless with relief and awe. "We're free," she whispered. And for the first time, freedom didn't feel terrifying. It felt like love. Elara stepped closer to Kale, the wind carrying the scent of the sea and eternity. He pulled her close, forehead against hers, and she felt it. The weight of every promise kept, every battle fought, every soul they had shared. The world beyond the cliffs seemed small, insignificant compared to what they had survived. Could love truly conquer fate? Perhaps not all, but it had conquered them. And that was enough. As they turned from the cliffs together, the world seemed to breathe with them. Rowan's shadow remained a memory, a lesson of sacrifice and the cost of love. The depth no longer called urgently, only whispered gently, like a lullaby. Elara took Kale's hand, heart finally still, and knew that some bonds transcend time, magic, and even betrayal. They had been broken and rebuilt across lifetimes, and now, finally, they could live.